Hey everyone, Starving Artist here, and welcome to another episode of StarSums. Sorta. This isn't exactly a manga, but I do think it's underrated and I want to talk about it. It being a YouTube series by the name of MILGRAM. MILGRAM is essentially a series where you, as a viewer, are a prison guard by the name of S. Your job is to watch over the 10 prisoners and determine whether they are innocent or guilty. But here's the kicker. Every single person in the prison is a murderer. The stories are told from the perspective of each prisoner via a music video. As if the concept wasn't interesting enough, the songs slap. I've actually added most of these songs to my regular everyday playlist because they're so good. Especially Half. I've literally learned this song on my guitar. So, I'm doing a little mini-series where I draw all the characters from MILGRAM, and in this video, we're drawing and analyzing prisoner number 1, Haruka Sakurai. Haruka is a 17-year-old boy, and his music video was the most confusing for me to follow. It felt a bit like a fever dream. At least compared to the others. I should add these are all my interpretations and theories on what's going on. Currently in the story, all I have to go off of is the first trial video. Watching the video gives me the impression that Haruka is carrying a lot of guilt. The first shot of the video is him swapping with a version of his younger self, then he gets so taken aback he falls out of his chair, giving me the impression that this isn't just a cool visual for the audience, but that Haruka is actually witnessing his younger self, whether this be a dream or hallucination. The first line is, "Tell me why you're drifting away from me, tell me why you say it's my fault." While looking at older Haruka, my initial thoughts were that Haruka did something that eventually led up to him being abandoned by someone, and them blaming him for the incident in question. By the end of the first verse, we see a few snapshots of a young girl, a dog, and a young Haruka with his mother. His mother is shown to be loving and caring, and young Haruka is dutifully walking in her footsteps while holding her hand. Older Haruka then grabs young Haruka's collar and pulls him away from his mother. I believe this scene is meant to signify that older Haruka will no longer be following his mother, and that if he could, he'd make young Haruka do the same. By the time the chorus starts, we see a young Haruka running with a girl who has her face blurred out. Then we see a hand shoot out towards this girl's back. There is no clear-cut answer as to what ended up happening, but my interpretation is that Haruka pushed her off a cliff or something, leading to her death. Haruka then breaks out into laughter, begging to be noticed by someone. The last two lines before the next verse are, "I was wrong, yes it was me," and then Haruka looks like he's waking up from a nightmare. The next verse follows a young Haruka with his mother and a dog. The lyrics discuss how he knows it's his fault, presumably for the young girl's accident, and he knows that he's a disappointment, which gives me the impression that his mother is instilling some ideas into him, though up to this point we can't be too sure what ideas. And the next few lines follow Haruka as he says, "It's fine, though it's really not. It's fine, though I don't really think so," giving the idea that even young Haruka knows that something's wrong, but is pretending it's fine. The next lines hit the hardest though, with Haruka saying, "When I try to understand it, you'll make that disappointed face again." There's only been one character that Haruka has associated with disappointment this entire video, and that character was his mother. My theory is that Haruka killed purely out of his mother's intentions or because of her influence. I do have more information to back this up, but continuing with the video, the literal next line of lyrics is, "You praise me by saying you're crazy, thank you, I'll do my best. How many more times do I have to do this so I can be human?" I mean, come on. It's not even subtle at this point. His mother is praising and condoning his actions, leaving him with the impression that this is the right thing to do. The last line implies that he's killed more than that little girl we've seen, and that his mother probably promises him freedom or something once the work is done. And I should probably mention, after that line of dialogue, young Haruka looks at his hands and they are covered with a distorted blood. We then continue into the chorus. Haruka is beating something up with a rock, presumably the dog, being that he followed it into the woods, and is then claiming that he is the victim and that his life is screwed up because of where it started, further solidifying my idea of how his mother's influence led to him killing people. And this is the part where it gets a bit confusing for me. It seems that Haruka is reflecting on his past and blames his younger self for being so naive, saying that they were lonely. There's also a scene where there's an image of his mother in the far distance and she disappears, with the lyrics accompanying being, The things that aren't here, the unneeded things, is still living somewhere, giving me the impression that Haruka's mother abandoned him and he considers himself an unneeded thing. Even earlier in the song, he asks, "How many more times do I have to do this so I can be human?" Haruka does not even consider himself human, just a tool that can be used. Old Haruka, then seemingly blinded by rage, grabs younger Haruka by the throat and then proceeds to choke him, yelling that he was the victim and that he was falling down, assumably a pit that led to murder. He then claims that his life started in the wrong place, his mother badly influencing him. He starts breaking down, crying, begging for someone to notice him. And at the end he says, "I was wrong, yes, it was me," admitting to the murder. Now, the point of MILGRAM is to determine whether the particular prisoner is guilty or innocent, and personally, I believe Haruka was innocent. It's already confirmed that everyone in the prison is a murderer in one sense or another, so I'm not saying he didn't kill people. My interpretation of the innocent or guilty aspect is whether they're forgivable or not. And personally, I believe he's forgivable. He was the byproduct of his upbringing, and normally I would have voted guilty, because if he got away with it, he'd think that it was the right thing and just continue what he was doing. But his entire song was dedicated to him admitting that he was wrong and he was the one to do it. There was also a fair chunk of the song dedicated to him being a victim, which isn't exactly a lie, so we'll just look past that. Well, that's one character from MILGRAM down, 9 to go. I know MILGRAM doesn't exactly have a small following. As I'm recording my audio, they have about 160,000 subscribers, though they deserve more. The animation, the hard work they put into this project deserves more recognition. It's honestly breathtaking. Well, thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. And with that, I'm out. Bye, lads! We continue into the chorus. Haruka is beating something up with a dog. With a dog. Haruka's beating the shit out of someone with a dog.